In Palestine, at least 21 people were killed on Monday after Israeli bombardments in the city of Gaza during the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. The Argentine government announced the deployment of security forces to the city of Rosario amid a growing wave of violence perpetrated by criminal groups. And Nato Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, during the ceremony of Sweden's accession to the military alliance, states that Sweden's arrival in the bloc will provide security and stability across Europe. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Palestine, at least 21 people were killed after Israeli bombardments in the city of Gaza during the first day of the holy month of Ramadan. Medical sources in the besieged Palestinian enclave confirmed the killing of 21 citizens, mostly children and women, while dozens were wounded after the attack on a family residence in the Al Zaytun neighborhood in Gaza City. On the other hand, a bombardment on a house in Rafah claimed the lives of 3 citizens. According to local sources, during the last 24 hours, Israel perpetrated 7 massacres in the Gaza Strip, killing 67 people and wounded 106. Since the beginning of the genocide last October 7th, the occupation forces have killed 31,112 people and wounded more than 72,000. In Palestine, citizens in the Gaza Strip welcomed the holy month of Ramadan amidst the ongoing Israeli genocide, famine and displacement. The Palestinian government called on the countries of the world to put pressure on Israel and stop the ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people, with over 110,000 victims, including the dead, the wounded, the disappeared and the detainees. Through a statement, the Palestinian authorities denounced that in 5 months of aggression, Tel Aviv has attacked more than 500 mosques, of which 220 have been demolished. In this sense, the government assured that the faithful would not be able to perform prayers during the holy month for Muslims. The statement blames the United States and the international community for the war of famine, genocide and crimes against children and women perpetrated by Israel. In this context, Gazan citizens made decorations to mark the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan. In Rafah, devout Muslims created paper lanterns with pages from books and themed drawings to decorate the streets and their homes. The celebration consists of a month of fasting, which for parishioner community represents a period of reflection and prayers as a way of renewing faith and getting closer to God.
To decorate, we made paper lamps with leaf from books. Because of the war, we could no longer go to school, so we used the leaf of our books as decorations. We also got colors to make Ramadan drawings. Despite the war, we continue to decorate and try to be cheerful. We want the joy to continue among us. If we were at home, we would have bought new clothes, holiday sweets. We would have got more colors and more decorations. We went out and left everything in Gaza. I have no clothes, no dresses, nor sweets, and no cakes. Everything stayed there in Gaza. We are here since early in the morning to prepare ourselves to receive Ramadan and Ramadan environments. Despite the war, we will continue. Before we decorated the house, and now we decorate the street. We want to be cheerful and give joy to displaced people and to the little children.
On the first day of the holy month of Ramadan, the situation in Gaza continues to deteriorate with the rising death toll as a result of the Israeli attacks, the food crisis and the lack of medicines and medical services. From Palestine, our correspondent Nur Harasan with the update.
This morning, the Kamal Udwan Hospital, which is located in northern Gaza in Jabalia refugee camp, said that 2 more children died this morning in the hospital because of the starvation. And this makes up the death toll here in Gaza, up to 27 people who died because of the famine and the starvation in northern Gaza. Most of them are children, and this numbers only in the past 2 weeks. Yes, the situation in northern Gaza is deteriorating, especially that we are entering the holy month of Ramadan. In some areas in northern Gaza, it actually reached the point where people have nothing to eat. They started eating grass, they started eating animal feed if possible, and according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, more people would be recorded that they died because of the starvation and the malnutrition in northern Gaza. At the same time, the Palestinian health sources said that 87 Palestinians were killed in Gaza over the past 24 hours in different Israeli strikes in northern Gaza, middle Gaza, and also in southern Gaza. And this brings up the death toll here in Gaza up to 31,112 Palestinians. At the same time, the Palestinian Health Ministry said that the situation inside the hospitals of Gaza is deteriorating day after day with the lack of medicine and medical supplies, and more patients would actually die because of the lack of medicine. Nur Harazin, teleSUR, Gaza.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Monday, in the framework of the celebration of Ramadan, reiterated his call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Ramadan, even though Ramadan has begun, the killing, bombing, and bloodshed continue in Gaza. At the same time, and in the Ramadan spirit of compassion, I call for the immediate release of all hostages. The eyes of the world are watching. The eyes of history are watching. We cannot look away. We must act to avoid more preventable death. We have witnessed months after months of civilian killing and destruction at a level that is unprecedented in all my years as Secretary General. Meanwhile, life-saving relief for Palestinians in Gaza is coming in trickles, if it comes at all. International humanitarian law lies in tatters, and the threatened Israeli assault on Rafah could plummet the people of Gaza into an even deeper circle of hell.
In the United States, citizens rallied in solidarity with Palestine before and during the Oscars ceremony. Hundreds of demonstrators greeted the artists with booths in recrimination to the holding of the 96 Hollywood Academy Awards, denouncing that while the awards ceremony is taking place, the Israeli genocide in Palestine continues. In addition, some artists participating in the event, such as the winner for the Best Original Song, Billie Eilish, and comedian Rami Youssef, were red pens to call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, as well as lasting peace and justice for the Palestinian people. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Security forces to the city of Rosario amid a growing wave of violence perpetrated by drug gangs. The national government announced on Sunday the creation of a crisis committee and the dispatch of federal forces agents to the city. The announcement follows a request from the governor of Santa Fe, Maximiliano Pujaro. In the last week, the city went through an escalation of violence with the murder of 2 cab drivers, the shooting of a gas station attendant, and the homicide of a bus driver. In the midst of this scenario, transport unions announced a strike in the city for this Monday, and the main teachers' union informed that there will be no classes due to the growing insecurity. On Monday, the European Union countries announced the evacuation of their embassy staff and reinforced security in the capital Port-au-Prince, which continues to be plunged into criminal group violence. U.S. military spokesman said that this Sunday an operation had been carried out to increase security at the U.S. embassy in Port-au-Prince in view of the increase of violence in the surroundings of the U.S. consular headquarters and at the Haitian airport. For their part, Germany and other European Union countries went to the Dominican Republic, denouncing the attacks by armed groups on civilian infrastructure, such as hospitals, in addition to food shortages and blockades of the main transportation routes. In this regard, representatives of Washington advocated the implementation of a multinational Kenyan force to address the security crisis in the country.
So currently, we have removed and evacuated all the EU staff from Haiti. So currently,
in the United States, a shooting at a private party in Jonesboro, Arkansas, left 3 people dead and several others injured. Police officials stated that multiple gunshot victims were found at the scene at around 5 a.m. Among them, 1 person was transported to the hospital by ambulance, and 4 other people were transported to hospitals in personal vehicles. At this time, police are not yet aware of what led to the shooting, nor have they provided updates on the people who were taken to the hospital, as the investigation is still ongoing. In Bolivia, authorities in La Paz declared a state of emergency and red alert due to heavy flooding. The number of emergency events that have occurred in the municipality of La Paz and their severity have increased in the current rainy season. Residents of different neighborhoods of the capital are building gabions next to overflowing rivers to contain the floods and are waiting for what may happen in the coming hours. A meeting is scheduled for Monday between the governor of La Paz, Santos Quispe, and other authorities to define the task that will be promoted to intervene as quickly as possible and avoid further damage.
We cannot cope with the disaster of the rains. The neighbors here have organized. The neighbors are building gabions to protect their home. The asphalt is leaving us. We don't sleep in the night, thinking that our houses are going to be gone.
The French Meteorology Center placed 6 departments on orange alert on Monday in the center and west of the country, while cloudy intervals with showers and clear intervals will alternate throughout the country. According to Centro Científico, this Monday showers will be more frequent in the southwest and may become stormy. In Corsica, there will also be a risk of thunder showers in the morning, especially in the west of the island. It will snow in the forms of showers at high altitudes from 1,000 to 100 meters, minimum temperatures between 2 and 7 Celsius inland, from 7 to 9 Celsius at the coast. Maximum temperatures will range from 10 Celsius to 14 Celsius and from 15 Celsius to 17 Celsius around the Mediterranean. We have a final short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean, as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with teleSUR. Final short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. In the last 5 years, firearms imports to the European continent have doubled significantly, according to data from the International Institute for Peace Studies. According to figures provided by the agency, from 2019 to last 2023, arms imports were 94% higher compared to the 2014 and to 2018 period. The activity was boosted by the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, making the latter the fourth country in the world with the highest rate of armament imports, after at least 30 states supplied it with large weapons as military aid from February 2022. Research reveals that 55% of the arms imported by Europe in the last 5 years came from the United States. In Russia, Moscow, the Central Election Commission on Sunday reported the start of advanced voting in the Russian presidential elections set for next week for inhabitants of remote areas, ship crews and some military units. The voting will last until March 14th, as elections in the rest of the Russian territory will begin the following day and will last 3 days. Traditionally, during early voting, CEC members travel by helicopters, snowmobiles and dog sleds to the most remote areas of the country. In the previous Russian presidential elections in 2018, only 0.29% of voters, about 180,000 people, voted early. In Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia and Cherson have been registered more than 4,507,000 voters, according to the CEC. Representatives of the largest number of voters in new Russian regions was registered in Donetsk, with more than 1,900,500 voters. In this context, the Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, denounced that the United States is planning cyber attacks on the country's electronic voting system during the March 17th presidential elections. According to the agency, Washington will mobilize its most experienced hackers. Russia will hold presidential elections next March 17th. Electronic voting will be available from the 15th. The candidates running for the highest office in Russia are Leonid Slutsky of the Liberal Democratic Party, Nikolai Karitonov of the Communist Party, Vladislav Tavankov of the New People Formation, and the current president, Vladimir Putin, who is running as an independent. On Monday, Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson and Nato Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg held a joint press conference during Sweden's accession ceremony to the military alliance. On March 7th, Sweden joined NATO after more than 200 years of neutrality, becoming the 32nd member of the bloc. It should be noted that Sweden's accession to the US-led alliance was materialized despite warnings from Russian President Vladimir Putin. In this sense, Russian leader has denounced that this expansion is a move aimed at destabilizing and increasing tensions between the West and his nation. For his side, Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson assured that his country will share the burdens of responsibilities and risks, acknowledging that the security situation in his region has not been as serious since World War II. Jens Stoltenberg, NATO Secretary General, contrary of Russia's warnings, assured that the military bloc welcomes the arrival of Sweden, claiming that it will provide security and stability in all Europe.
After more than 200 years of neutrality, you are joining the strongest and most successful military alliance in history. So welcome to NATO. It's great to have you here. NATO is stronger with Sweden as a full ally than Sweden as a close partner. So this is a good day for Sweden, a good day for NATO, and a good day for security and stability across Europe.
In Switzerland, the commander of the police of Cantonal de Valais, Christian Varon, reported the discovery of 5 lifeless bodies of the 6 missing skiers. The official detailed that the people had left for a popular tourist destination in the area on Saturday morning and that they were reported in the region of Tete Blanche. Barone did not give details of the identity of the bodies found. However, he indicated that the rescuers continue in the search of the 6 missing persons. The official also said that snowfall and strong winds had hindered much of the rescue work. In New Zealand, at least 12 people were hospitalized on an emergency basis due to a technical incident during a flight to Chile. The emergency services of New Zealand reported that one person is in serious health condition, while 12 others are injured. According to witnesses, the aircraft belonging to the LATAM company lost altitude rapidly while flying over the Tasman Sea and propelled all the people who were not wearing their seat belts to the ceiling. So far, the authorities have not provided details about the circumstances of the incident. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.